Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Shout out to Chosen144 for that quote. That is a fact. And as y'all can see by the, illustration right there, see how that sentence is like it's a combination of letters and numbers. So it's not even spelled out in just regular language, but I'm sure even your eyes caught on and was able to adjust and adapt, and you were able to read, what was, you were able to read that sentence very clearly. Because when I first seen that and I scrolled down, a quick glance at first, I just thought, like, what is all these numbers and stuff? And then when I paid more close attention, I'm like, oh, that's a sentence. Oh, that's dope. So I just wanted to let you know, collective, you are highly skilled at what you do, and it's because of your ability to adapt. You know, just like you were able to read this sentence full of numbers and letters, you are able to do that in life. Like the way that you pivot should be studied, And I feel like that came from your own life experiences, collective. Like there were a lot of times where situations happen in your life where you had no control over it. You were either snatched out of something or forced to go somewhere and do things that you didn't want to do, a lot of the times of your life. So because of these many changes that you had no control over, you had to learn how to change the way you felt about it, right? And that's like literally a quote that I learned like very early on in life. Like if there's things that you can change, and then you can change those. But then there are certain things that you cannot change in life. And because it's already happened, the damage has been done, like you can't do anything about it, right? So you have to change your perception on what happened, right? And so once I learned that just literally opened my eyes, like, okay, that makes no sense. Why am I going to be so upset harping over something that I cannot do anything about? I'm only going to tear myself up even more. So I'm not tripping over something I can't change, right? So I had to adapt. Let me change how I view this situation since I cannot change the actual outcome, right? This is you now, collective. Because you went through these serious events throughout your life, you didn't have a choice in a lot of the things. You didn't have a say. Your voice did not matter. So you had to learn to adapt, right? But in doing so, that became your superpower in life, collective, because now you know how to adapt to any situation. You're not allowing, you might have been someone in the past who would get so reactive to everything in the environment around you. But because of you experiencing all that chaos and you had to learn to adapt, now your inner world is more at peace and the world around you could be at chaos. The world around you could be very like it just could be going crazy, But because you've developed this skill to adapt, you know how to switch and pivot and move the way you need to move in any given any given circumstance or situation, collective. This is you, right? Because it's one thing to just accept things for what they are and go with the flow of things. But then, or allow, like, when you get into certain environments or get around certain people, you allow those people to change you in a way that, is not fulfilling. You're not like that. You might have been in the past, but you know how to adapt to people and adjust your personality to someone. So if someone is, someone doesn't like all that high energy, they're more low key and they like calm, then you know how to adapt your personality to them. If somebody likes a high, vibrant, high energy person that don't want to be boring and like being loud and outgoing, you know how to adapt to that, right? And those are just examples, but like, in life now, it's like you be ready for any situation that comes your way because you know how to adapt. And it's almost like it's a challenge to you now. I feel like you be taking on new circumstances as a challenge to your own mental, because you've learned so much with how to adapt. You learned so much that you've evolved. You are evolving, and you continue to evolve in ways that weren't probably thought humanly possible, collective, right? Because you're not sitting around like playing victim for things that are happening in your life, for things that people are doing in your life. You're not playing victim, right? You're removing the problem out of your life, and then you move accordingly, right? And that is so important and crucial in this day and age now that we live in, because we all know we don't know what's going on, okay? And you don't want to be too, like, you don't want to allow your outer circumstances to have that much power and control over you, because now you just become an unstable creature. And you were in the past the unstable creature, collective, and that's why you already know this, collective. Like, you're not unstable anymore. And it's because you learned how to adapt to your unstable situations so that you can maintain your stableness, right? But it's like, again, you learned this throughout your life by way of life showing up. And you thought all this time that it was a punishment. You know what I'm saying? You thought all this time, all these things that were happening to you, but now you can look back and see, well, damn, I'm happy I did go through all of that. Because look how I can maneuver through these situations. And then you have other people around you, collective, who go through it like you, but they're struggling hard and bad, and they don't know how to adapt and change and grow. And here you are flying through every obstacle effortlessly. It's because your experience, collective. Let me know if this resonates with you down below in the comments. Okay, if this is your first time here on my channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you're returning, thank y'all so much for continuing to support me. I love y'all so much. It's Karkar. I'm signing out. Talk to y'all later. Bye.